The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Gideon Block, a paladin of Daga, bringing her justice to the wilds of Ritoya.
I'm Konnor Shenold, and I play Konnor with a K, the Kobold sorcerer who's finally out of the bag.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play Zonimus Dinar, a roguish warlock controlling his fate with chaos.
I'm Kiri Hester, and I play Poppy Tea Leaf, a highborn halfling druid who has forsaken her family for the call of the frontier.
I'm Brooke Bullock, and I play Mokrin Stoneshaper, a young dwarf sorcerer wielding his arcane gifts to delve into the mysteries of the wilderness.
And I'm Ash King, your dungeon master. Join us now for Tales from the Callban Frontier. When crossing the Great Mother River, one should be quite cautious, as forming a large trench in the middle of the river, creating dry land for the party to pass, might just attract attention. And quite indeed, you have caught the attention of a pair of hunting Hydra, one of which has decided to cut its losses and head off back into the dark depths of the river. The other, standing firm with our beloved paladin Gideon, facing off against it, trying to ensure that his party can escape. Poppy, Konnor, you two are on the west bank of the river, where you are safe and away. Eopix and Whirlwind have taken to the sky, so they are both safe and away. Zonimus, you stand on one of the rocks of the riverbed, the oath bow firmly in hand, as you assist Gideon in his battle against this beast. Mokrin, however, is invisible for the moment. Having turned Buttercup invisible, you are just trotting along the riverbed with just a cart showing. So just this cart is just moving along the riverbed. It is your turn, Mokrin. What would you like to do?
All right, so I would like Buttercup to continue to double move with her 40 feet of range. And if my math is right, that brings her about 30 feet onto the bank.
Yeah, because that would be from the 80 feet you had moved last turn to the 80 feet you moved this turn. Yeah, that would be a full 160.
Okay.
So yeah, you would be up on the bank and away.
And then, as an interaction, I tie off the reins and then cast Dimension Door and show up next to Gideon's.
All right, Gideon, Mokrin has appeared next to you, and it is your turn.
Bonus action, Divine Favor. That's first level spell, adds 1d4 radiant damage to a hit.
Okay.
And let's just go in for an attack. So first off with Scimitar, 10, second attack, a 20 non-natural.
Will hit.
With a second level smite. 29 points of damage.
Yes, you do indeed explode one of the heads.
Three-headed Hydra.
And the Hydra just seemed to fall over, twitching slightly.
Yeah, so if someone hit this thing with fire!
I'm gonna go ahead and fire on it anyway, even though it's like flopped over on its side. Because why not? After I bonus action, 60 more feet. 22. 37.
Woo!
Wow.
Konnor.
Okay, so going to cast Firebolt.
Okay.
Pack Tactics, yeah. So I point my finger out and a little bit of fire streams out. 17 to hit.
17 will hit.
Yes. And I'm now above level 5, so it's 2d10s.
Woo!
It's 10 points of fire.
Okay.
Hey.
Any amount of fire is enough amount of fire.
Is it still twitching?
Not really.
Like, is it dead?
Well, Yapix at this point just kind of lands on the shore next to you, Poppy.
Hey,
It's like, hey, what's up?
I was holding the river up. It's fine.
You're doing a great job.
The walls of the river just shake a little bit.
Keep holding just a little longer.
It's been a really long 4 rounds.
Yeah, Yapix is very carefully watching the Hydra. Fortunately, it doesn't seem to be getting back up.
Okay.
So, at this point, it would be the Hydra's turn, but since it took fire damage, it does not grow any heads. It's unconscious at this point. It's not dead, but it is unconscious. We will roll back around to Makram.
Gideon, we gonna just leave it lay there, or you want to get out of town?
Let's just get out of here.
All right, trust me. And I reach out, and then we dimension door, basically back to everybody else.
Y'all need to stop doing that.
That's pretty cool. Did you smell the sulfur? I don't know exactly where that comes from.
You're still in the river a little
the
ways, but
sounds
everybody
really
else
cool.
is 5 feet or less in the river.
Except
You
for,
have like 10 feet.
I've got 120.
You've got 120, and you were 125 feet away from
Yeah.
shore. So
Yeah,
you're right here next to
You're
me.
pretty much right. Yeah, you're all up.
We're in wading distance right now.
Yeah.
We're all back on the west side.
Except
With
for
our-
Konnor, who's 30 feet in.
Listen, I had to get some feet forward to actually help kill this thing.
It's fine. I'm super proud of you. I'm super helpful. I'm just waiting on you before I can drop the river.
All right.
All right. Yeah, so at this point, it would be Gideon's turn, but if you decide not to do anything, then...
I'm going to move 30 feet away, and I'm going to get on Thunderstep and go, let's just move as fast as we can, everybody.
All right.
Let's head out. Quickly. If everyone's ready.
I'm moving.
Dashing?
Dash.
All right, so yeah, you're back up on shore.
And I come dashing after.
All right, so everyone is safely back on shore. Poppy.
I let go of the river.
As you let go of the spell, the water that had been held back sweeps back in, meeting up. You see a big froth and foam and waves as the water course rejoins, covering up the body of the Hydra.
So we watch this temporary valley get flooded.
It took you long enough.
That was some really great work, everybody. That could have been much worse very quickly.
Yeah, great teamwork, everybody.
Yes.
That was a great job getting the getting our supplies across.
Yeah.
You bet. I was thinking, I thought, oh, we can just, and then I was like, no, because of all of our stuff, and, so.
I'll follow you.
Yeah.
Just don't ask me to do anything else today. And she lays down in the back of the car.
Poppy, you want to ride in the car? Yeah, exactly. Here.
We get Poppy and Wildfire up in the cart, and let's just move away from here as fast as possible. When that thing wakes up, it's not going to be happy.
Yeah. Do they stay in the water, or will it come out on land and chase us?
It can come out on the land, but I don't think it's going to come after us. See if we can just start making tracks right now.
That was called a Hydra.
That was a Hydra.
It'll look for a easier meal.
Right.
Just lay down in the cart.
Let's get as far away from the river as we can. We don't have far. This is about midday when we hit this, so we've only got a few hours left to travel. So let's just get as far away as we can and rest up for the night.
Zonomus, that bow is amazing.
Well, it's just a bow now until tomorrow morning.
All right.
I'll banish it away.
What kind of energy was that coming off of that? Because it looked like it's blasted that thing to smithereens, that one head.
I'm not sure. I just remember seeing Iopix use it. I kind of look over at Iopix
He gives a little smirk.
before, and I remember he said something at one point, and he really started whooping tail when he said it. So I remember what it was, and I said it, and here we are. When that thing went down, though, I could feel a drain from the bow. It might need a rest, too.
It's got some type of rejuvenation charge or something. It'll come back to the next time you need it.
It might take a day.
Okay.
Circle of life. Everything needs a nap now and then.
She's hilarious.
That's what happens when you expend a lot of, magical power.
Holding up a river.
Takes a drain on you.
Konnor,
Yeah, what?
the necklace.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
thank you. Almost forgot I had that for 2 seconds, but
How many of them beads are left on there?
6.
That's incredible.
That might come in handy. But I don't know which was better, that fireballs or that new
swirling storm thing he did.
Oh, yeah. I've been working on that for a bit.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed with that one. That one was very nice. And thanks for coming to help, Macron. I know you didn't get to do anything whilst you were down there, but at least I felt like somebody had my back.
No, of course. No, it's no big deal. So you handled the motion really well. Sometimes they say people, get a little nauseous the first time.
Oh, I held it back.
He's traveled before with
I
me.
remember the first time I plane hopped.
Everybody, what?
Yeah, it's a thing.
So not just like jumping through, but you like actually pause somewhere else for a little bit?
Oh, I visited the plane of air.
What do you mean by a plane?
Yeah, Vic just smiles real wide. Yes, so there are other worlds, other dimensions out there.
I would definitely like to talk to, when we have Doritos sandwiches and stuff later tonight, I'd love to talk to you about some stuff.
Of course.
There's enough trouble in this one. I'm good with just right now taking care of this world.
Where do you think Cimarron came from originally?
I don't know. Where did Cimarron come from?
Wait, what do you...
The plane of fire.
That blood of blood thing with Wiley and...
By blood unbound, you'd mentioned something like that.
Bound by blood unbound.
And Freets are from the plane of fire.
They are.
Fire Genasi is what he is, right?
Now that I've seen him up close, yeah he's definitely of the plane of fire.
And so you think because he's got this blood, this fire Genasi quality in him, he might be able to unlock whatever tomb or wherever it is that...
If he is descended from Cimarron, it is quite possible.
So, because he's got the Genasi blood in him, he might be able to break him out.
If he is descended from Cimarron.
Does he have to be directly descended from or just be of the race?
That I'm not sure. It was Grandmother Orble who knew more than I, but I would assume when most people speak of blood, they speak of blood relation. So I would guess that it would need to be the blood of Cimarron to free him.
True. But sometimes when they talk about blood, they talk also more about a species. Like, and I've got the blood of elves in me, and so does Zonimus, as well as the blood of orcs. So it's sometimes confusing.
If I know Wiley, he's not just trying to free Cimarron. He's not going to free someone that he's going to follow. I think he's probably found a way to seize his power.
Right.
Take it for his own. From what I hear of Cimarron, if I had to choose between the two, I'd choose him, because you've seen how Wiley treats those who are most loyal to him.
You weren't alive when I was, Zonimus. You've never met Emperor Cimarron, the subjugator of the Kalban.
I think they're both bad news, but if we can find a way to stop both of them, I think that's a better plan.
And you still think that idea of pretending like we want to join forces?
I think so. I think it's a way to get it maybe into his inner circle.
At the very least, you can at least see what he's got.
Right.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know of him, but you don't know what he's become and what he can do.
And we also don't know his real end game plan, and that's what we need to find out more than anything else.
I think Zonas is probably right, though. I don't think Wiley's the following type.
No. But unfortunately, until we know, it's all speculation of what he can do. So right. I think until we can get into his inner circle, that's the best plan ahead.
And the journal.
Yeah, well, once we get into his inner circle, we got someone who's invisible who can go get that journal.
I would say you have a fairly solid infiltration plan.
Yeah. Of course, as Poppy is like to mention, we are really good at making up plans. We're not always really good at following through with them. So we'll give it a try.
Well, this plan has a 5,000-year-old stamp of approval on it, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Just keep your wits about you. So, the day wears on. Fortunately, no other roadblocks come into your path. And as the day begins to turn to night, you do hear the sound of other horses approaching you from the wilderness. Riders, all bareback, all elven.
I pull back my hood and my hair and make sure they can see my elven ears, which is not usual. You guys usually do not see him showing off his elven side at all.
Mockrin pulls up his hood.
Konnor ducks down in the back of the cart.
You just see the little eyes glinting in the low light. Say the optics will actually kind of move forward a little bit.
Listen, we got a legendary hero. We're fine.
That is true. I'd forgotten we had him.
Eopix raises his hand up so that they notice him and gives a Ohio. And the 3 elves stop short, and one comes a little more forward, bows her head down, and Wanderer, it has been long since we have seen you. And Eopix gives a nod and says, yes, I know. It's how I prefer. But my companions and I are in need of shelter. Would Wildheart be amicable to hosting us for at least a night? And the wild elf that he is speaking to, she looks you all over for a minute, focuses on you, Gideon, but then she just kind of shakes her head for a moment. And, well, Wandering Wind, your companions are strange, but if you vouch for them, then we will take you to see the chief, and she will decide. And so she motions for you all to follow.
I thank you for allowing us to get some rest here. We have had quite the encounter today and could really use a haven.
She will give a nod. The desert is oft a unkind mistress, so as long as you mean us no harm, then you are welcome.
The elves have always been a friend of ours, and we mean you no harm whatsoever, so we thank you for any of your hospitality.
She will give a nod. That is not for me to fully say. The chieftain will decide if you are allowed to stay or not. The Wandering Wind is always welcome, but we are wary of outsiders these days.
I understand.
And she and the 2 other horsemen will lead you all to a camp. The wild elves are a wandering people, so they don't build permanent settlements. The camp itself is made up of a large group of tents that are easy to set up and take down. There's a great number of horses that some of the elves are tending to, all looking up curiously as you enter the camp. They take you to the largest central tent, the chieftain's tent. Eopix, riding on Whirlwind, does create a stir as these wild elves turn to watch him. You hear whispers in Elven, and it seems to spread that the Wandering Wind has returned. And reaching the central tent, Eopix hops down off of Whirlwind, allowing the Pegasus to go off as it will. A young elf runs out, only about 20 years old, so basically think, a gangly teenager runs up, very excited that Eopix kind of opens their arms and pulls them into a tight hug, and they just, Wanderer, you have returned! Do you have more stories for us? Of course, little one, always. Where's your mother? This elf points to the tent where the flap moves to the side, and a female elf steps out, dressed in the regalia of an elven chief. Her eyes scan you all once. She settles on Eopix for a moment before her eyes turn back, looking to you, Gideon. This chieftain is very familiar. And very slowly, she approaches, moving a few figures to the side as they at first attempt to come forward to her to speak with her, but she just waves them off, and her hands come up and cup your cheeks, Gideon.
Mother?
Her eyes close and her forehead comes to rest with yours. You have grown so tall, my son.
Everybody, this is my mother, Ilyana.
That was my old name. I am now Wildheart who returned.
It's been a long road. I'm glad to know you're safe.
As I am glad to know you are. Come. And she motions for you all to enter her tent.
Greetings and salutations, my friends. I'm Michael Cross. So great to have a moment to talk with you during this mid-show break. First off, I want to invite you all to join us as Patreon members. The money we raise helps us pay for things like the music and sound effects you hear on the show, as well as money to go to events and make new fans. When you become a Patreon member, you get our episodes 4 days early, bonus content, access to our Discord server, and full versions of our roundtable discussions. You'll be joining other fans like Scott Wise, Don Mills, Heath Mormon, and the Lady Kate. So join us right now at patreon.com/reddirtdnd. Another way to support us is by getting your very own Red Dirt merchandise. You can find things like hats, hoodies, mugs, and t-shirts. Just click on the merch tab at reddirtdnd.com or reddirtrpg.com. Since 2020, the Red Dirt D&D podcast has been close to another Oklahoma actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast, D20 to Curtain. And me personally, I've had a chance to work on stage with some of the actors on the show. So when you get done with this episode, you should check them out.
Hello, fellow D&Ders. My name is Jerome.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Jody.
And together with our friends Kara, Timothy, and Jared, we are the cast of the D20 to Curtain podcast, where Oklahoma theater geeks and their friends hit record and explore our new addiction to Dungeons & Dragons.
We think D&D is more than just a game. It helps us tap into the enduring power of storytelling.
We combine live gameplay with behind-the-curtain episodes to share our experiences, insights, habits, discoveries, and passion for D&D with anyone who will listen.
We hope D20 to Curtain will make you laugh, cry, maybe even make your experience at your table even more satisfying. Check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts or visit us at d20tocurtain.com or at D20 to Curtain on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We look forward to having you. All we ask is that you have fun, be kind, and play the role.
If you're looking for more content, make sure to check out our YouTube page with Mysteries of Beatrix live every Wednesday. Keys from the Golden Vault from the Red Dirt Outlaws dropping every Tuesday at noon, and Plausible Deniability every other Thursday at 7 p.m. So come check it out at youtube.com/@RedDirtRPG or search for Red Dirt RPG on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you. Find us on social media at Red Dirt RPG. You can also get in touch with us through our website at reddirtrpg.com. In the meantime, make sure and subscribe to this podcast and leave a comment on your favorite podcatcher so others can find us. All right, I think that's everything I need to tell you. Right now, let's head back to Red Dirt D&D.
You enter into the tent of Chieftain Wildheart, who returned, formerly Ileana. She goes to a chair made of fur and antler, sitting down, shaking her head just slightly. You are welcome by my fire, Gideon.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce my friends here. It's Macron, Poppy, Konnor, and Zonimus. I got so much to ask you, but that's for a later time. For right now, we are asking your permission to take refuge in your camp.
You have it.
We thank you. I don't even know where to start. It's been 40 years.
Yes. Yes, it has.
Okay, as players, we know the backstory from the flashback, but I'm trying to recall, as characters, how much about your mom have you talked about around the campfire and stuff?
Anything.
I didn't think not a thing, right? Yeah, we're just flabbergasted, right?
All right.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to double check that.
Yeah, 40 years. What have you been doing?
I've been here, leading my tribe.
Why didn't you come back?
She takes a deep breath, and I wanted to take you with me when I left, but he wouldn't allow it.
He? Who?
Your father.
Oh. He's still alive, by the way. I didn't know that he said you didn't want me, because I didn't look elven enough. I look too human. That's what he said.
Then he lied.
Well, and Samuel and I will have something to talk about later, I guess. But I have missed you horribly, and I'm glad, again, just to know that you're safe. I just missed you a lot. You're the reason why I do some of the things that I do. I think about you and how brave you were, and how much you stood up for the Caliban frontier. That's why I've chosen to become a follower of Daga.
I'm assuming you're probably sitting next to her. She does reach out to run a thumb over the badge of Daga on your lapel. You have grown into a fine man, Gideon.
I wish you could have seen my wife, and you had a grandson for a short time. They've moved on though, but we're still here, and we're looking to help the frontier, which might be in danger. Danger it's probably not seen for 5,000 years.
You and I have the same heart, Gideon. We always did. Your father was permanently stuck in one place. I do not fault him for that. He loved his land, he loved where he was. You are more as I. You feel the call of the wilds.
The deeper I've gone into the Caliban, the more I feel at home. Just like this place feels like home. And as you're looking at him, he's, like I said, he's pulled his ears out, his hair.
Oh yeah, and she tucks, very gently just tucks.
And he does not pull it back over his hair. He is very proud right now of his heritage. And yeah, something is happening that has not happened in 5,000 years. And I know where the elves and the orcs stand. So any allies we can get in our battle against a possible rise of the Empire would be instrumental.
I've heard rumors and tales. The Mesa, not far from here. There's been much hurt and much anger. Recently, some of my warriors came across a clan of Dragonborn, green Dragonborn. The ones we found were females and younglings, saying that they were fleeing from the Mesa, that destruction had been wrought upon their people and upon their home. We have not gotten involved, mostly for fear of what may lay within that Mesa. If it's bad enough to frighten Dragonborn, then it should be avoided. I believe that they headed towards the font that used to house Screaming Gale.
Or Screaming Gale?
Screaming Gale the Green. Your kobold friend should be able to give you more information about that one.
Are you talking about another dragon?
Yes.
We had somewhat of a run-in with Nightmare.
Oh, you have found Nightmare's forgotten temple?
I look over at Zonimus to see if I can get a nod or any kind of a reaction.
Yeah.
Yes, we found Nightmare's temple and Nightmare's guardians. He is still resting, but is still alive and undiscovered by the remnants of the Empire.
The old mothers always spoke of the Empire, how we were once enslaved to the Empire. Of course, she nods over to Eopix. And of course, there are those of us who still walk among us, who saw that firsthand, so he could tell you far better than I. But if the Empire is returning, then that does have terrible implications for us all.
How far away would you say this mesa is?
2 days' ride.
We are formulating a plan to infiltrate the remnants. So far, it's just the meager workings. We don't have full details. We're still trying to figure that out. But the idea is that we would, in essence, act like we are joining their group.
That may work. My scouts have seen deliveries going to that mesa, carts carrying materials, and handfuls of men, few at a time, trickling in and out. It is very difficult to get a full grasp on the numbers that may be there.
Does it look like they're coming from somewhere?
They're coming from all over.
Okay. I look over at Zonimus. I say, Zonimus, what about if we don't go in as ourselves?
As long as we don't run into him or anyone who was there during the Battle of the Pegasi.
There was one person who did actually get away. No, Jonathan. We let him alive,
one of the
other
snipers.
Right. So, as long as we can maybe make it in, these people that are working now, who are going in, are they just humans? Are they anything special other than that?
No, they seem to be more ragtag than anything.
Right.
If I may, have your scouts reported seeing any soldiers or guards exiting the mesa?
Those that they have seen come and go tend to be light armored.
Do they happen to describe the armor?
Leather, mostly. Treated auroch hide, typical desert wear.
Right, so these guys are mostly dressed up like ranchers and horsemen, nothing special?
No special insignias.
Okay.
At least not that my scouts have reported.
Nothing that look like bone armor?
No.
Okay.
I will say that some have also reported strange sights and sounds, a great vibration. They describe it like an earthquake, but it does not come from the earth. It comes from within.
Could we talk to one of these people? Maybe they could give us a little bit more detail.
She looks up to one of her people and gives a nod, and they quietly leave before bringing back a male elf. He gives Chief Wildheart a nod. She kind of looks to you, Gideon, and Dreaming Fox, my best scout, and I think in human terms, your stepfather.
Dreaming Fox, it's an honor to meet you, and I was just wondering, you've scouted out this region.
Yes.
We're thinking about possibly infiltrating.
Gods be with you.
How likely do you think it would be to disguise ourselves as one of these caravans that you've been seeing going in and out?
If you have the patience to wait for one, you could likely ambush it and take their places.
All right.
He seems to have a bit of a glance at that. It's just like...
I was thinking, well, I would love to fight alongside you to take one of them down. Maybe we could find a place that would be amicable for all of us.
If my lady approves, then I would be honored.
My lady? What are your thoughts?
Oh, well, first off, no need to be so formal, child.
Mother.
Second of all, I am loath to put any of my warriors in harm's way. But if you feel that it would be of benefit to have Dreaming Fox with you, then he may go.
Actually, I just thought maybe he would just be there to show us a place to hide and be able to ambush him. I'll let him be up to Dreaming Fox whether he wants to join us.
He looks a little disappointed.
Well, he can join us in the fight if he feels like it. But for the most part...
Dreaming Fox kind of looks to you and says, there is something else that I've noticed that may be of use to you.
Right.
We have seen 2 entrances. There is one that we have seen people riding up to the top of the mesa and descending down into what we can only assume is some sort of hidden entrance. There is one that we've only seen a few use. Seems to be some sort of secret tunnel that leads into the bottom of the mesa. That may be another potentially safer option.
You know, I like that idea, because that's better than going in through the front door. I look around at my party, I say, what do you guys think? Would you rather go in the front door or the back door?
Well, I feel like if the front door is crowded and we could blend in better versus important people who might be using the back door.
It depends on, if you're trying to come in as a caravan, then we wouldn't convincingly be coming in as a caravan if we go up to the back door. We gotta go to the service bay, if you will.
So the way I'm seeing it is if we sneak in, then we're in there, but we're hidden. The minute we're spotted, it's all over.
But
we need to infiltrate.
What if we take down this caravan, we take on their clothing, so once we go in the back door, we're not going in with the caravan. Once we go in the back door, if we're seen, we're just seen as people who are just...
We're supposed to be here.
Right.
That way, if they had anybody checking carts and stuff at the front gate, we could avoid that.
Exactly.
But it'd still look good when we're
Once
inside.
we're in, if we're caught.
I like it.
I am unsure how inconspicuous a dwarf would be.
Well, I'm also wondering about whatever rumblings. It's like an earthquake, but it ain't down below.
I thought it could maybe be digging. They're trying to excavate just like they do with Nightmare, or maybe there's some kind of powerful spell happening, or a dragon.
Or there's something awakened down there.
Oh.
If we could get down there, and I do an overly formal bow to the chieftain.
Adorable.
Great chieftain. Did your people say these dragonborn that had been driven out? I heard you mention women and children. Did any of their fighting forces survive, or did they have any guards or accompaniment with them?
We have seen no warriors, other than, of course, females that carried weapons.
Right. Because I'm also wondering, I know we're on a time schedule, but what if we went to this font and got information from them, or even Wildheart, who returned, also mentioned a green dragon.
Right.
If we could gather up where they're at and gather forces, awaken them, find more clues for Thundercrack.
I will say, speaking to our original plan, we also have this rooftop entrance that a invisible kobold / halfling could fly into.
Well, she said that was more used, right?
Yes. So basically the way it seems from what she's saying, and Dreaming Fox actually kind of like in the floor of the tent, he is actually like drawing out and like showing you what they have seen. Mm-hmm. And kind of what you're getting from the gist of it is that, so it seems that there are sporadic supply caravans that have come to this mesa bringing supplies, tools, whatever, and they're using an entrance on the top of the mesa.
Right. So they have to climb around.
Mm-hmm. So they have to climb up to the top of this mesa. And the Elven warriors have not been there, so they cannot speak as to what is up there. They've also noticed that there is another secret entrance that is a tunnel, again, leading into, so basically you either top down or bottom up.
As they're describing what the top part is in theory, this sounds familiar.
Very familiar.
Okay.
If not a lot of people are using the secret entrance, that's probably the place we need to be.
I agree.
Okay.
Depends on if we're being sneaky or not.
So, I know for myself, I've got that covered.
I mean, you and Mocker can be very sneaky.
I think you can too.
I think I can get
a
a few of you with me, invisible. I don't know if Mocker can or not.
Okay.
Zonimus, how familiar does all this sound to you? Is this the place?
This is it. This is the place, and here's
which entrance did you take?
The front entrance, the
top.
main top entrance. He's had plans for this place for a long time, and I didn't know his goals back then. I thought it was just going to be some nice little hideaway for me and him to get away to, but obviously I was wrong. There was some sort of army in there that I wasn't sure if it was. When I was attacked and left for dead, I wasn't sure if it was an undead army that came after me or if it was just soldiers wearing a type of hard bone armor, which may have been the case.
That does sound like traditional Dragonborn armor.
I wonder if they were already in Wiley's employ or I don't know what happened to him after
Or
that.
were they guarding the place?
They were the ones.
He didn't expect an attack, and then he just left you
for dead. Outside of that, what is his obsession with this? This place, the boss relief paintings of everything that was going on, the journal, Cimarron, and now supplies coming in, nothing coming out, sounds of deep drilling, deep digging.
These questions can only be answered when we go there.
Exactly. There's all speculation till we get there. But what would you say as far as if there's something going on down below, the best bet, I think, for me,
is the lower entrance.
It's the lower entrance. We're closer to whatever it is that's going on. If we're going to the top, we're out.
The top entrance opens up into a large room.
But we're in front of everybody. We're having to enter.
The difference is what kind of plan. If you wanted to do the original, we have switched sides plan, we got to go to the front door. If we go to the back door, we got to be sneaky the whole time. And I could help with that a little bit, and Konnor sounds like he can help with that a little bit, but we'll have to, be sneaky. And if the risk with that plan is getting discovered and getting killed, the risk with the other plan is Wiley not believing us and getting killed. So,
well, but I think
I like this split both ways idea. Looking like people that belong, but sneaking in.
I like that because I think that we are much better at being sneaky than we are at convincing others to.
How often do these caravans come by? Are we talking months in between? Weeks?
Dreaming Fox speaks up and says, at one time they were coming more frequently, but as of recent, it has slowed to a trickle. So it seems that whatever goods they have needed, they've made a stockpile, and now
we could
they
be
only
waiting
resupply more sporadically.
We could be waiting weeks.
Well, the mesa's 2 days from here, I assume west. So the font is how far and which direction?
Font is farther to the north.
Okay.
It is a hidden location.
I don't want to waste time, but it would be beneficial to have that conversation.
Problem would be finding it. It's not going to be out. It's going to be like Nightmare. It's going to be hidden.
Yeah. Otherwise, they just go to that right as well. You're right. Poppy, I don't know how long it's going to be till we see another one of these. I say we ask Dreaming Fox to lead us to a place. Maybe stay there for half a day. If nothing happens, then we move on. If we can time it right. If not, you're right. Let's not waste time. We got it. Because time is running out. I'm really glad that we made fantastic time in getting here, considering we fought a Hydra back at the Great Mother River. But we take enough time, maybe see if we can ambush one of their supplies. Maybe even get some answers from some of these people. But sneak in through the bottom, dressed as people who belong there.
Red Dirt D&D Tales from the Caliban Frontier is Ash King as our Dungeon Master, Brooke Bullock as Macron Stoneshaper, Johnny Payne as Zonimus Dinar, Kiri Hester as Poppy Teely, and I'm Michael Cross as Gideon Block. Our theme music was created by the cinemagician P.J. Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of Monument Studios, Andrew Sitcob, and TabletopAudio.com. We here at Red Dirt D&D could really use your help in getting the word out about us. If you like what you've heard, make sure to rate us and leave a comment. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and RedDirtDnd.com. Tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D and share us on social media. And we have new content on our YouTube and Twitch pages. Just search for Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/RedDirtDnd. We have several giving levels, including early listening to shows and access to our Discord server. Join us next time as we go deeper into the Caliban Frontier.
Moving along the riverbed.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
I like to think Makran thinks the cart is invisible.
That might be true.
It's okay. We're all invisible here.
And show up next to Gideon.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
Hey, how we doing?
That's as well as you'd expect.
That bad, huh?
Yeah.
Must be an old people thing.
It's Return of the Jedi.
It's a Star Wars.
How you doing? Say always.
That bad, huh?
I haven't seen that one. I've only seen
the sequels. Don't say the sequels.
I've only seen A New Hope. A New Hope is the only one I've seen.
You have homework.
Well,
for the mythological moments
before Marvel, you gotta watch some Star Wars.
Yeah.
Now
wearing
we know
a Star
what our
Wars
next
shirt
Red Dirt
today.
D&D movie night is.
That's right.
You get to the sequels, just
4, 5, and
everything
6.
that doesn't have Kylo Ren in it.
You have sneak attacks. I'm right next to it.
Yeah, and this thing too that gives me advantage on. So
It's got a lot of nonsense.
if I have advantage, there's 10 million ways I can have sneak attack right now. Yeah. This is I love this bow.
The bow's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That will indeed destroy another head.
Yeah.
Really liking this bow, Zonimus.
Two-headed Hydra.
I can't hear you. I'm 120 feet away.
It's like the moment in Shazam. What are you saying? I can't hear you.
Poppy blows a whistle. Everybody out of the water!
Wait for me, guys! And I come dashing after.
Don't run!
Don't run.
There's like
No running!
There's like the siren sounds before they release the damn water.
It'll look for a easier meal.
Right. Now that the river isn't being dammed up, it has plenty. Maybe a little fish. I don't know.
I told him to swim away.
Poppy, I thought you were a druid. I thought you understood about the great circle of.
That's right.
But I liked that particular fish. I named him Philip.
Well, perhaps Philip will
I
live
think
to spawn offspring.
I saw him swim away. He's fine. He went to go home to his wife and children.
Eopic said something about fire, and I was like, oh yeah, necklace of fireball.
As if the gods dropped a word into your brain.
The dragons.
Yes.
The dragon.
Yes.
Yes. They say people, get a little nauseous the first time.
Oh, that really, I held it back.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I succeeded on my con save.
I appreciate you.
If he is descended from Cimarron, it is quite possible.
I'm calling it Cimarron Supermax.
That's a good one.
I thought so.
Riders, all bareback, all elven.
And all hotties.
It's only been 5 minutes. Are we doing a break right there? That was good.
That is true. I had forgotten we had it.
Let's have the DM roleplay with themselves.
This chieftain is very familiar.
Gideon's a princess.
And she motions for you all to enter her tent.
Go take a picture. I'll break there.
Dry your tears.
Come on. Like both Brooke and Mockrin have tears. Like that's fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
That was fantastic.
I'm a prince.
Yes.
Anonymous is not going to let you live this down. Again, I say, do I bow? Or curtsy?
Golly, that was a line. That was an actual line. Yeah.
In episode 1.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I think in human terms, your stepfather?
Hi, Daddy.
I have 2 dads.
Just like Poppy.
That's right. Just like Poppy. I got 2 dads all of a sudden.
Does that make him my grandpa?
Does this make her your grandmother?
Adopted.
So now you are a princess.
And an heiress.
Her head's not going to sit out of this tent.
I say we make the DM's life as difficult as possible, and we split into 3 groups. I like this split both ways idea. Looking like people that belong, but sneaking in.
All right. Yes. Okay. I see what you're saying. I think I was split the party.
No.
I don't like that for several reasons. Considering we fought a Hydra back at the Great Mother River, and I say that loud enough for everybody else to hear.